listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the longest-running Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
We're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking to Merkel. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Tuesday, December the 2nd. I'm your host, Michael Leva, joined as always every Tuesday by Josh Moser, WSVN 7, South Florida's #1 news channel. Josh, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. NFL off day. No off day for us. Grinding through it. Final month of the season. Dolphins actually have some relevant football to play, which is a lot better than we thought after that big start. So,
hey, 5 weeks left and they're still alive. And from when they started 1-6 and then went to 2-7, no one really would have thought this might be possible. And here we are. And this is actually a big Tuesday. Let's get to some announcements. I feel like I'm the one kid in high school with the morning announcements. We got two big birthdays today. One, OJ McDuffie, friend of the show. Happy birthday, Juice. Hope you have a great day. Channing Crowder as well. Haven't had him on the show. I want to have him on, though. Channing, happy birthday as well. And also, this is the 40-year anniversary in 1985 when the Dolphins beat the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football, one of the most iconic games in Monday Night Football history, really. They only lost to the Bears. And I know they put out an HBO Max, it's like a 40-minute short-form thing about the Bears and the Super Bowl Shuffle, that whole video that they cut. It just came out like this week or last week. I want to watch it. I'll probably watch it tonight, actually. It's short, and I heard it's fantastic. Like how they shot it, who they wanted in the video, who was not allowed in the video, who was a late add to the video, how they hid it from everybody. So I have to check this out on HBO Max. That'll be a fun watch because that is that's one of the most iconic teams in NFL history, just from a personality standpoint. And they only had one loss, and that was in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, I have to watch that. I gotta check that out.
HBO Max got it. All right. Before we get to the show, though, shout out to Caneswear.com, the sponsor of today's show. Everyone go to Caneswear.com for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. Christmas is coming up. Hanukkah's coming up. Whatever you celebrate, Caneswear.com's got stuff for the Dolphins, the Heat, the Panthers, the Marlins, your Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers, and the Miami Hurricanes, which we'll find out here in a couple hours if this week at least, if they're in the playoffs. Here's what I don't get. Why do they do this in college football? They only need, it's like in March Madness. If they did a 64-team bracket the whole month of February, who cares? Just show me the last one and who's in, who's out. I don't know why they do this and get the fans worked up and angry for a month. The only one that matters is the one that comes out next week, but whatever. If you want stuff for the Hurricanes, go to Caneswear.com. My little sidebar. Also, shout out to everyone watching at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page. Right now, between now and the end of the Miami Dolphins season, sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra. Well, the first month is only $1 if you use the promo code DTXmas. DTXmas. Nice. First month is only $1. Live watch along this week with Josh and Aaron and myself from my house. We're going to have a brunch, a food spread. We're going to watch the Jets-Dolphins game, live stream it. You can see our reactions in real time as the game's going on, but you got to be a member of Dolphins Talk Extra. And YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Super chats are open. If you want to leave us a super chat, it's the best way to support the channel, and it's much appreciated. Dolphins Saints 21-17. Wasn't pretty, but it's a win. What are some of your thoughts from this game?
Defense was great in the first half. I really felt like they should have been up much more than 16-0. Obviously, Rasul Douglas, had a chance there for a pick six. I don't know why he cut that one back. The best part was when Minka Fitzpatrick, we talked to him afterwards and said, yeah, we've got fines in the DB room, and he's definitely getting fined because he got brought down by an offensive lineman. I think it was kind of one of those moments like, holy crap, I caught it. Like, what do I do now? But look, this was a team that you were supposed to handle. And look, a win's a win, and you take it. It's scary to me that you let this get as close as it was. The Saints were a team that you should have blown out, especially without Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave was, they did a pretty good job on him, but shucks ain't it. And this team is someone that you need to beat handily, and they just didn't do it. Tua, again, up and down. And to me, he seems like he's continues to regress in that idea of what he was in 2023. It's great that he's healthy and that he's played in every game, but right now, so many questions still need to be answered. I understand Tyreek Hill's been out, and you could say Tyreek changes things when you have him and Waddle on the field together, but it's just the inability, especially looking from above, his decision making. This is year 6 for him. This is year 4 under Mike McDaniel, and we're constantly seeing the same mistakes over and over again. That's the bad. The good, Devon Achane is phenomenal. They need to pay that man. They need to lock him up.
Oh, there you go. Josh, your audio's out, Josh. We got to get Josh's audio back here. Please stand by as he reboots. But yeah, a lot of what he's saying is a lot of the same thoughts I've had. See if you're back. You back? No, he's still out. He's still out. Why don't you leave the room and rejoin and see if you can come back? Oh, there you go. You're back.
All right,
you're back.
Sorry.
You're back. No, you're fine.
That was the emergency contact as the one thing on the phone. So, yeah. That person will have to be okay. Because it is Dolphins Talk podcast time right
Tuesday at 7. What are they doing?
That's right. I told them. 7 o'clock. This is the time. Do not call. Do they care? No. Everybody always needs something. But the positive, Devon Achane, and look, he's spectacular. And this team needs to lock him up. Obviously, we don't know who the GM is going to be. I would be hard-pressed if he were not to step onto the field next year without a contract extension. I think you give it to him now. I understand that there's a year left on his rookie deal, but he's someone you got to get guaranteed money on. And, I know that, some people may say no, but to me, he's far and above the best player. 1,000 yards already. Lock this guy up. It's only going to get more expensive. People can say, his size, he's going to get hurt, make him play out the final year. He's been phenomenal. Reward the guy, get him a deal, move on, figure out your cap situation. It was good to see Darren Waller back out there, and I would have liked to see Tua find him more. And obviously, the touchdown, you got to convert on that, and just the ball placement from Tua got to be better. Waller, you could say, shouldn't have jumped on that catch, but to me, that was on the quarterback. And Austin Jackson sighting. You're getting some pieces back here. You're hoping to get a little bit of mojo, but again, this is a team that you should have beat. Now you're going to your cold weather game. It's been one of the Achilles heels under Mike McDaniel. And, this is a game in MetLife you should win. And
the Jets are playing better. Look,
Jets are playing,
people can crap on the Jets. The Jets are playing better. And the first time we played them, they fumbled at the goal line, and it came down to an onside kick at the end. It's not like Miami wiped the floor with them. It was a close game.
Both teams are playing better. They have the last-second field goal. Nick Folk, he's got to be over 40. He's still kicking at a high level. I think it was a 56-yarder to beat the Falcons. So, that defense is fired up. I know that they traded away some pieces, but, if you're any good, I'm talking about the Dolphins, you go and you win this game. And if you lose this game, same old Dolphins, and then, the season's pretty much over. But with Aaron Rodgers being hurt, this game against the Jets, these are 2 very, very winnable games. And
against the Jets and then Pittsburgh,
and then you're talking about,
Cincy and Tampa.
Cincy and Tampa, and then the way the Patriots are playing, it looks like they may be resting everybody by the time they get to them. Yeah. So to get into the playoffs, realistically, you need to win all 5, I think.
You're right. I think they have to win all 5 just to have a chance. And even then, because of tiebreakers, it might not happen. Exactly. I said this Sunday night after this game, and I stand by it. And I know it's not the most popular stance, but that's sometimes those things I say. And I'm not just saying it to be outrageous, but if this team, when they played at home versus the Bills, it's the best game they played in 3 years. But to me, that's the outlier. That's not the norm. The team we see versus Washington and the Saints, that's the team that we've seen all year. And you can get by playing that sloppy type of football where you play good for a half on one side of the ball. Offense it can run the ball, but really not much in the passing game. If a team takes away Waddle like the Saints did, if they play like that, they're going 0-5. They ain't win another game this year because this Jets team going to beat them. Pittsburgh's going to beat them. They have to play better than they played the last 2 games. If not, they're going 0-5. That team won't be the team that I know the Jets aren't good, but they're improving for that coach a little bit. They're not going to be the team that's, it will be a challenge to beat the Pittsburgh, Cincinnati's, and Tampa's of the world. And the Jets, who knows? They need to play better because what they're doing right now, and let's just start, I guess. Let's start with the quarter. What the hell happened to Tua? I mean, this guy is a shell of his former self. I wrote something for our website. It's up there. Like, we might have seen his ceiling. We might have seen his peak. And this is what he is now. And now, I don't want to get into what happens next year. You're here, you're not here. That's going to work itself out. But it's like, this is who he is at this point, and I don't know if it's going to get any better. Like, he cannot move. He just throws the ball, and you're like, what the hell are you doing? Who are you throwing it to? It's not good.
I mean, inside the building, Mike McDaniel has praised him for his, growth in the leadership role where he's, taken on more than he normally has in the past. And Tua admitted a few weeks back something along the lines of he was spreading himself too thin, and he was more worried about others than, focusing on he needed to focus on to be ready. But like you said, it's about what you do on Sundays. And to me, the biggest thing is that Tua can't move. And, you can talk about body fat percentage. You can talk about, speed, agility, being in shape, whatever. Tua is not that. And I don't know if it's, him being scared to get hit. We saw.
I think it's that hip injury. Times. That hip injury last year versus Houston was late in the year.
Yep.
And we know what he had with the hip when he was at Alabama. And since the year ended, like 1 or 2 weeks after that game, well, because I think the quarterback there, I forget his name right now, he only started the last 2 games. So I think after Houston, there's only 2 games up. And then they never had to answer any questions about his hip. And it was like, we're in the offseason, no more talking to the media, really. And he's back. It's like something, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Just watch the eyeballs. Like, watch the game just with your eyeballs. It's like something happened where he ain't the same guy that he was even last year. And he wasn't even great last year, but he was much better than this.
Yeah.
I think it's the hip.
It could be. And the other thing is just the deep ball. Like, where is it? And I understand that defenses are playing, too high shell and you don't have Tyreek, but you're the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. And, we've talked at length about how Tua loves to throw the ball over the middle because he has a hard time physically seeing over the tall tackles. And defenses have taken the middle of the field away. So it's that 20-yard out, which is the hardest throw in football. But, I mean, that's what you're paid $200 million to do. And sorry.
Figure it out. Yeah.
And it's not like you've got slouches, out there. You've got a true number 1 wide receiver in Waddle. Darren Waller was a former Pro Bowler who, when healthy, is an absolute force. And you've got, guys that have been in the system. There should be enough there. And the way that Mike McDaniel moves around Achane and, there are weapons. It's not like you're on a weaponless team. It's just frustrating to see. And I'm so sick of the 12-man in the huddle and
the mistakes,
errors. And
that's a difference. I mean, look, this guy, I know they're winning, and I really hope this owner isn't fooled by some of these wins versus Saints or Washington. There's a bigger first off, every year, I'd say the past 2 years, September, October to them, they treat like training camp. Like, we're going to dig ourselves a hole because they're never prepared. And then, they come out of the hole a little bit, but it's always too little, too late. But the same mistakes you see week after week. Lost another challenge, 4 for 21 on challenges. And I know some people say, who cares? Well, who cares? You got to win some. And it's like, if you know you're going to lose, don't throw the damn red flag. I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Losing the timeout. I mean, look, it can be important in a game.
Yeah.
I hate, fans watching this are probably going to hate me for saying this, but look what the Patriots did.
That's one of my topics. This is a copycat league. If Stephen Ross, Tom Garfinkel got a brain, the Patriots fired a coach after 1 year because they couldn't take it. They go, Mike Vrabel's out there. He's way better than what we got. You're fired. Give me what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. It's not a knock on Mike McDaniel. It's just
get someone better.
If you have somebody available, why not go get him?
We'll get Lane Kiffin. He'll come.
Oh, Lane. He's got to text me back. That man.
God bless him. Got a good deal. But okay, but no, seriously, go get Mike McCarthy or whoever. There's guys out there to get.
Mike McCarthy,
better. than him.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy and Nagy, from what I'm hearing, are linked to Cam Ward, and they want that job.
That's a good job, good city to live in.
Great city, and you're going to have a brand new stadium, and you've got a lot of young talent on that team. That being said,
you probably have the first pick of the draft too, which they can trade to get more picks if they want. I'm calling the Jets. You guys want Mendoza? Give us 2 or 3 of those 5 first-round picks you got the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, but look, you look at the quarterbacks in this draft class, and from what the scouts are saying, it's a weaker draft class specific to the quarterback position than in years past. Obviously, Drake May's hitting here he's still 23, and he looks great. But there they were. They got running back and a high pick. They heavily invested in the offensive line.
And next year they have the most salary cap space and the most picks in the draft.
And that's Elliott Wolf.
They're going to go nuts in March and April.
It's just, we don't talk about this enough, but the tampering situation with Tom Brady really hurt this team. And you lost a first-round pick, which should have been a bona fide Pro Bowler, which was a high pick, and you lost a third-round pick, who should have been a starter. You're not going to hit on everybody, but just the omission of those 2 picks, big deal.
Killed those drafts. Yeah,
those are 2 key contributors on this team. And right now, I was having a conversation, like, it's time to start evaluating this draft class. I understand that Chris Greer is gone, but okay, you get Ollie Gordon as a late round pick, but is he really going to be a game breaker? Is he really going to be somebody here? But right now, you haven't seen anything from Kenneth Grant. You haven't seen anything from Jonas Savaiinaya. You haven't seen really anything from the high drafted, DTs. Biggers has been good. He's a late round pick, but he's flashed a little bit. But your top end guys, you've got to hit on. Look at the Eagles and their success. Like, we keep missing. And
they traded all those picks for Jonah. And I know there's going to be people listening to this. He's gotten better the past couple games. Yes, he has. But he has gotten better.
He played his whole life on the right side.
I know, that's the point.
Why are you drafting him in that spot?
And why are you trading all these picks to get a guy just to move his position? And no offense, if I'm going to trade all these picks to get a guy, I don't want to wait till week 10 to see him perform. He should be able to perform a little bit earlier if I'm parting with these picks. And I know that might be unrealistic. And some people say, got to have patience. I got patience. No one's saying he's got to be cut or he sucks. He's going to stop. But it's like, this is the things other teams, the teams that are good, don't do. If they're going to trade a bunch of picks, it's for an instant contributor. Instant. It's a key word.
I spent a lot of time with Mike McCarthy. And one of the things that he would always harp on is that the most important jump in the NFL is from year 2 to year 3. Rookie year, it's a wash. Year 2, you're feeling it out. But now the third year, like, the system, how it works. That third year is when you need to really excel. And if you were to draft correctly, or bring in the free agents, you can bring these guys along where they're not forced into these roles right away, and you can grow. You can get them the reps when you need to. But right now, it's you have the short window of success, but you've got to bring the other guys along. And to do that, you have to have sustained success. And if you look at the top teams in the league, they have that. And the Dolphins simply don't. And that's something I understand that they fired their 2 top personnel guys. That's something that has to be fixed. But now we're back on basically a 5-year cycle because it's a 45% roster turnover every season. And the thing that's most upsetting to me is that the Bills are really having a down year. The Ravens are having a down year.
This was their window, Miami.
This was your chance. Like, I know 2023 when they got hurt, but
this was the window. 2023, 2024, 2025. They should have been prepared for this stretch to pounce.
Exactly. And right now, you wanted the Laramie Tunsil picks. Like, great job getting them. It's just you picked the wrong guys, and then the guys you need to pay that you drafted, you let walk out the door, and then you end up paying and picking some of the wrong ones. It's just part of me is just torn. Like, I would love to see this team win on Sunday, but part of me is like, man, just have them losing. Like, then, let's write off the last 4 weeks of the season. So I think the fan base is probably feeling the same way. It's just like, all right, cool. You beat the Jets. You were supposed to beat the Jets, but it's like, oh, you lose the Jets. Okay. Dolphins are going to Dolphin. And now all of a sudden, you're going into Monday Night Football at formerly Heinz Field. You got Aaron Rodgers maybe banged up. Player, that'd be an exciting time, prime time. And here we are just like, man, I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, it's just, this is the thing with Mike McDaniel and why, in my opinion, and look, I hope the people in that room, whether it's Ross, his kids, his son-in-law, the stepkid, Tom Garfinkel, I hope they they have to look at this from a football perspective, not we want a nice room where everyone's all friends and family. Like, they have 5 picks in the top 100 next year. 5. If you give Mike McDaniel one more year and it fails, which, spoiler, it's probably going to fail, then you're going to draft guys that fit his scheme. And then literally 12 months later, he won't be here. And you're going to have another guy who might have a totally different scheme. You might draft guys for a 4-3 defense. You're bringing someone who runs a 3-4. You might draft guy, who likes, like Mike, smaller wide receivers with speed. You're going to bring in a guy who wants like a whole bunch of, do not use those 5 picks. If your thought is we're going to give Mike one more year and find out. If you have that thought, it's already over. Well, it's like people talk about retirement. Once you have the thought, if you should or should, you've already retired. You might as well just retire. Like, what if that's your logic? We're gonna give him one more year just to see. This ain't.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, to me, is what these last 5 weeks are about. This is still an audition for Champ Kelly. It's still an audition for Mike McDaniel. We talked about this. You need to win all 5 to potentially get in. These 5 potentially are all winnable games if you play to your potential. But that potential and execution and actually what happens is the question mark. Can you actually do it? And so far from what we've seen, it's leaning the opposite way. I don't mean to be pessimistic, but it's just the facts of what we've seen. And, it's a shame because, Jordan Brooks, to me, is a player that's not talked about enough. And I think he's a special player on this field. And, he deserves some flowers. But it's, you're wasting some good pieces. And we understand that the talent from last year's team is significantly lower. But this is where you need guys to step up. But I think the draft picks for next year, once you get to Black Monday, like, all of that'll sort itself out. And they'll put a team in place. Like, we'll know who it is realistically, mid-January. They'll get there. And if I'm Garfinkel or I'm doing all of that work right now, like, they should have an idea of who their top 3, people are for both.
And I'm sure they probably reached out behind the scenes to certain people that they want to talk to. Because if you're the assistant GM with a team like the Lions or Chargers or Philly, they can't meet with anyone right now because it's in season. Yeah. But once the regular season ends, even if they're in the playoffs, those guys, because there's nothing left to do at that point, they can meet. Yeah, because they're the assistant GM. So right now they won't.
Right, all the coaches are repped by like 4 different agents. Like,
exactly.
They all trade. You can randomly run into somebody at a hotel. Like, all this shit happens.
Jimmy Sexton, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah.
It's just like, when is this team going to put it together, and why?
I've been asking that for 20 years.
And
got gray hair.
I don't know, and it's just like, oh, we got a young kid. All right, great. Like, let's see what's going on, and then like, but I will say, Ollie Gordon is a pleasure to be around. Like, that man, it might be the happiest human being. I love his energy. I love his youthful spirit. I love his positivity, and
perfect compliment for Achane too. It's a perfect 1-2 punch.
Yeah, you got a little thunder, you got a little lightning, and it's nice to see that. But again, it's on Mike McDaniel. Like, we've seen the Malik Washington on the end arounds. Like, we caught all of this stuff. Sorry, so now you've already done it. Now defenses are aware. Like, now what do you do? Like, and to me, this is where Mike McDaniel has to separate himself. Is you don't have Tyreek. Everyone's kind of seen your situation right now. I understand there's limitations with Tua, specifically with his movement. And like, how do you do this? And you go back to that opening drive of the game. It's phenomenal, scripted, great. So
that works every game from the first opening drive. It always works to perfection. Maybe they don't score a touchdown, it's a field goal, but they move the ball, they get yards. Most of the time there's points. And then that second series on, it sucks.
So why don't you just script the whole freaking game? Like,
exactly.
You've got a week to do this.
Or just run the same play, see if they catch on. I don't know. You might fool them.
And and that's a question I need to go ask Mike. But it's baffling to me. Like, it's like, all right, well, the players, you ran those routes during practice on Friday during walkthrough, like everyone knows where they're supposed to be, but it's like, you're only getting 50 plays. Like, it's not rocket science there. Like, you can memorize 50 plays, and especially if you're a receiver, 25 of them are runs. So all you're doing is blocking. Like,
exactly.
It's not like, all right, you got to, know your leverage, you got to know your keys, but like, it's not, nothing crazy. I mean, you're not taking an SAT test.
Yeah. What did you all think, or what did you think right before halftime? They got like a minute left, runs the ball, calls timeout, runs the ball again, I think, or was like a short pass, and just lets the clock run down, kicks a field. Like, to me, this is me, that's a sign you don't trust your quarterback not to turn it over when you're not even trying. You're not even trying to get more points. I'm okay with a 49-yard field goal in the rain. It's like, dude, that's a lot of time in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a $200 million quarterback. I'm not saying try to score, but let's try to get a little closer maybe for a field goal. Let's do something.
Yeah, Rasul should have just gone straight down the sideline. I don't know why he cut it back. And he even
that too.
Like, I don't know why.
When they got the ball, though, he's just like, we're going to run the ball, let the clock run, and play for a long field goal. Like,
I'll say this, like the Miami Hurricanes fans that are watching this, you don't want to play to lose. You want to put your foot on their neck, so to speak. I mean, you go up and it's now 23-0, or excuse me, it was 13-0 before the field goal. So you're up 20-0. It's a big difference.
Hell yeah, with that quarterback? Hell yeah, it would have been.
And you had a chance to go do that. But look, the metrics say
4-7. You got a $200 million quarterback. Throw the goddamn ball. What you're doing, or don't. But
I mean, that game's over at halftime. I mean, think about it. It's if Minkah Fitzpatrick didn't make the strip sack and he doesn't come away with that interception on the 2-point conversion, I mean, this is a lost game.
Well, even at the end of the game, Chris Olave dropped a touchdown that would have probably
he did.
won the game.
Yeah, he did. Chris was bummed afterwards. I talked to him.
I'm sure.
He was taking it really, really hard. And you talk about concussions. Here's a guy that had 3 of them last year.
Yeah, a lot of them.
His career was over, and he's out there. But yeah, it's just tough because
that's the stuff about Mike that drives me nuts. Where I know there's a segment of the fan base that goes, "We won." I don't want to hear you complain, but it's like, yeah, we won, but versus the Saints, that stuff you can slide by with those mistakes. Historically, with Mike for 4 years, when we play the Chiefs, we play the Eagles, we play whoever, the teams that are good, those mistakes cost you games. And it's like, watch him still in year 4 against this. Like, what are you doing? You can't do this stuff.
But that's the message this week. And I mean, that's what they're talking about. It's like, we ain't going to win if we do this. And
no, they're not. They're going to lose this week if they do that.
Yeah, they're very well aware. And, there's something about, quote unquote, playing down to your opponent. Trap games is another, phrase.
Playing down to the opponent's kind of laughable when we're a team that's really not that good.
Exactly.
That is kind of laughable.
But it's kind of like, we got a rookie quarterback in here. No Alvin Kamara. Okay, they got Chris Olave on offense. Foster Moreau might do something, but like realistically, like we should be good. But I mean, that defense in the first 4 drives, minus the last drive in the first half, I think they had 25 yards. It was like a turnover and 3 and outs. It was phenomenal. But
second half, that kid came on, though, Tyler Shook. He showed me something that second half. He didn't quit. He stood in that pocket, and he took hits, and he threw the ball where it needed. Like, yes, they lost, and who knows if he's ever going to be any good. I don't know. But if I'm a fan of the Saints, I'm watching that second half going, if that kid continues to improve, we might have something there.
Yeah, and you got Kellen Moore there. Like, they'll be fine. But it's just the bigger question is Tua. And it's just, why has he regressed? We talked about the hip, potential injuries. He's not going to tell us until the season's over. People say, oh, he had a second kid. He's being a dad now and all of this.
He lost the eye of the tiger. I've heard that too. Which, you know what? That's kind of human nature. There is human nature to that.
Great song by Michael Jackson. That's top 5 for me.
There you go.
But yeah, it's just like, what are you going to do? And my fear is I hate this field with a passion. Everybody gets hurt on this field. It's like a kryptonite. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's always some sort of major injury at the stadium. And I'm praying that nothing happens for somebody.
Yeah, who knows? Last topic I want to bring up here. Because fans of the Dolphins, I think they've been... what's that word when you start to believe the person who kidnaps you? Not Schadenfreude. Whatever it is. Oh, it's I can't remember right now. Anyways, fans of Dolphins are have to fix the offensive line. Have to fix the offensive line. Have to fix the offensive line. And I'm going to write something on this because I mentioned this on the show Sunday night with Tom. I want to raise my hand here. We had a 1,000-yard rusher by week 12, and you had 2 of your guys pretty much out for all year. And when you talk about next year, I don't care who the coach is, who the GM, Patrick Paul, he ain't going nowhere. Jonas Vaine ain't going nowhere. Aaron Brewer ain't going nowhere. Austin Jackson and James Daniels are both under contract. They're not going nowhere. So when everyone says you got to fix the offensive line, you got to take one at the top of round one, where they're going to play. I mean, and 2, we have holes everywhere else. Should we not, those 5 picks in top 100? I'm not saying don't take any offensive linemen, but is that the priority when you have no corners? You have like one safety on the team who might not even be here next year because they need the salary cap space. Wide receiver might be in need if Hill's not here. Tight end might be a huge need if Waller is here or not, all depending on who the head coach is in GM. Like you have linebacker, edge rusher, you have needs everywhere. The offensive line might be coming back with 5 guys. I don't know if that's as big of a need. And yes, I know run game's been fine this year. Pass protection's been shaky, but I think some of that's too on the quarterback. I don't think it's a huge need this offseason, like many Dolphins fans who have been brainwashed seem to think it is. Stockholm Syndrome. There it is. That's the term.
Yeah.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Appreciate you there.
Yes.
Look, in talking to GMs for 15 years covering this league, the hardest players to find are big guys that can move, specifically on the inside of a defensive line and offensive line. So your tackles and your guards. If they're there, you have to take them. And I think, it's kind of like at work, if you've got, all of these pieces of equipment, one of them is bound to break. It's the NFL. You have a 100% chance of injury. So
that's true. With Austin Jackson,
you got to have a backup ready to go that you can plug in at any time. Shoot, the TV station, you got to have an extra mic in case the mic goes down.
That's true.
But it's about finding the talent. And if the talent is there where you know that this person can play, you cannot pass on them. I agree with you 100%. Again, it depends on who the general manager is. Chris Greer would, he's not going to take a safety. He's not going to take.
I think a guard or center. That ain't happening.
They don't use those in the early, first round.
Yeah.
I love. I mean, they're not going to take him, but I love this receiver out of Louisville, Bell.
Well, he's not a round 1 guy, but one in round 1.
I think he's going to sneak in around 20.
He might.
If the Dolphins are at 11, 11 to 15,
slide down, get some extra picks, maybe.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
But he's someone I would love to see. But you need a corner. You need 3 corners.
You need a safety. Corners. You need safety. The kid from Ohio State, Caleb Downs. I've seen him mocked to Miami, in the top 10. He's supposed to be the real deal. Someone like him. I saw the wide receiver from Ohio State, Carnell Tate, in a CBS mock draft. And I know it's a mock draft now, but those are the names of the guys at the positions of need. If you're Miami, if you got Tate and Waddle, that ain't bad for a 1-2 heading into next year. If that's your 1-2 with Washington and maybe add another piece or something, whoever. But someone like that, to me though, in round 1, yes, if there's a stud left tackle or right tackle, go for it. But Chubb ain't going to be here next year. Jalen Phillips ain't here. Chop Robinson's having a so-so year. I'd rather have an edge rusher. I'd rather have a nose tackle. I'd rather get someone there or a corner or something there than someone on the offensive line when I probably have 5 guys all coming back who just had a 1,000-yard rusher by week 12 with 2 of them not even on the field.
Yeah, but look, I mean, you've got to have, they talk about versatility on the offensive line. You're going to have to take.
Let's be honest. Yeah. They need everything, but I think you have to prioritize it as well.
And the defense obviously, needs a lot of work. I like Dodson. I think he's been great. Obviously, Jordan Brooks to me is a Pro Bowler. Those are 2 guys that you would love to see stay. Outside of that, Trader, the rookie, he'll probably get a little bit more run when he's healthy. Melifon was probably gone. It was a rental. It's you need pieces.
Oh, the Ashton Davis. I don't want to see. I mean,
Ashton Davis rental.
He should never been brought in. I know why they brought those two guys in, because they lost Holland and they had to do something and they needed guys. But I could have told you, I mean, Ashton Davis was horrible with the Jets. And then
he's got a big game, a revenge game.
He was terrible. Melifano was great at Syracuse, but that was a long time ago. And since he was in Lions, he was always hurt every year. And that's Chris Greer. Loves himself. He can get a guy cheap. But yeah, he's cheap for a reason, because he's never on the field.
All I see is just Chris Ballard's face when the Dolphins
he took Grant over Warren. Yeah,
and Warren was just there.
It's
and
like,
Warren's got to be the offensive rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. He's going to be going to Pro Bowls, which I know there's no game anymore, but he's going to be voted to that. He's going to have like a great career. Him and the tight end there for the Raiders are going to be like the top two tight ends in the AFC for years to come. And Grant, which is fine, but Grant better be good. And he's been okay. I know he's a rookie, so you want to give him some grace, but that kid's a stud.
Yeah, and that goes back to the talent evaluation, and I think that's something, I'm excited to kind of dive into in the offseason of like, who are they actually going to put in place? And obviously we won't know until the season's over, but it all starts and ends with Tua. Like, we can say you can put all these people.
Well,
if you're not a quarterback,
that's why. Well, it does start and end with Tua, but I think we also know the clock on him is ticking to the point where the end of the 2026 season, it's over.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
He might be here next year, and that's fine.
It's going to be a bridge.
After 2026, it's over. So, like, the next year and 5 weeks, like, we're just treading water till we get out from that contract and get the next quarterback in. Now, if they want to rush up the process and pay $1 zillion and eat the dead money, I throw a party. I have confetti in here. I'll have a streamer. I'll have a blast. But I don't think it's going to happen. So really, at the end of what they do this offseason next, which is why I want the new coach this year, let's get everything in place so we can hit the ground running the day he's gone.
Right. Reading between the lines, you're telling me you want to start a GoFundMe account so that it can offset the dead cap that the Dolphins are going to spend to get rid of Tua now? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, if they're serious about football, Mr. Ross, what's his phrase? Best in class. We're best in class in everything. If you're best in class, you know what? I know it's a bad deal. I know it's a lot of money, and it ain't my money to spend. I get it. But pay down that contract some and trade them for a 7th-round pick to a team will just take them. They're going to have to pay down some of the contracts, obviously, and eat a ton of dead money.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, pay off as much as you have to trade them. Now, the sad part is there's one team out there that is perfect for him, that could use him, and he would be probably pretty good with. And that team is a team that has a young quarterback, but who hasn't been great and been injured. Send him to the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, offensive coach. Let them fight it out in camp. One's your starter, one's your backup. Whatever. The problem why you can't trade him there is the Vikings got Brian Flores, and it won't work. That's the only team that really he fits with right now.
Yeah. Well, when I see Lenny the next time, I'll see what's on Wilf's mind. But yeah,
that's the team. That's the team. It's a dome. He has a good coach who knows offense, weapons to throw to. And yes, maybe it's him. Maybe it's J.J. McCarthy. They can fight it out. One of them is probably going to get hurt anyways. They're both going to play at the end of the day. It's like that's the spot for them. But we can't trade him there because Brian Flores is there. Someone hire Flores to be a head coach. Get him out of Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean,
that lawsuit first.
You better record this, just in case it comes true.
Oh, if this comes true, I will save this. Yes, I will save this. And look, we're 5 weeks away. Everyone was up in arms when it happened, including myself. We are not going to see Liam Eichenberg for one snap this year, it looks like. All that huffing and puffing back in March and April.
Knee issue, we'll see. We'll see what happens Sunday.
Everyone on social media was fighting like, it's good. He's a good backup. And I was like, no, just get him out of town. He stinks. Oh, he's got to play. And then we never saw him. We traded up for him. 8 spots. We gave him a third-round pick. Give him a third-round pick. That's Chris Greer again. Oh, my God. He's driving me nuts. All right.
We got to get Greer on here.
Oh, I would love to have Greer. I would
talking.
Oh, no. Well, he probably signed like an NDA, let's be honest. He probably can't talk. He probably signed an NDA, yeah, because he's going to be called up in that lawsuit with Flores at one of these days, if it ever gets to trial or if it ever gets to arbitration. I know it keeps going back and forth. I don't know which one it is now, but he can be called to talk to a judge. So I guarantee Ross got him an NDA. Don't worry, you're fired. You're getting all your money. Just sign.
They parted ways, mutually parted ways.
That means he's getting his whole salary. That means, and he signed an NDA. So you'll never hear that man talk again. God love the NFL. All right, everyone, thank you for listening. Be sure to watch Josh Moser on WSVN 7, South Florida's #1 news channel. Follow him on social media at The Mose Knows. Check out DolphinsTalk.com. Last week, I was joined by Big E, Ian Berger on Wednesday for the Thanksgiving show. This week, myself and Tom are back on Wednesday night. Again, sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. Use the promo code DTXmas. First month, only $1. After that, it goes up to $3. Folks, we're giving them away. We're giving it away. Sign up. And this Sunday, watch along. Jets Dolphins at my house. Josh and Aaron will be over. We're going to get a bunch of food. We're going to watch this game, which I don't know which way it's going to go, but it should be interesting as well. Everyone, have a great Tuesday night. Talk to you again tomorrow. And as always, we must put an end to highway profanity.
Appreciate you all.